The Queensland Police Union has put forward a plan to ensure the land where 2 officers and a bystander were murdered doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Joining me now live is Queensland Police Union CEO Ian Levers. Thank you so much for joining us. What is the union proposing?
What we are proposing, look, and I've spoken with the Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk, who supports our proposal, but I don't want to see this land fall into the hands of the anti-vaxxers, pro-gun conspiracy theorists who have warped and dangerous views and use it for evil. What I'd like to see, this becomes a permanent memorial to Matthew and Rachel, and whether it's used as a police retreat or as a training centre, but it can be a memorial forever and a day, and we can honour that sacred site where both Matthew and Rachel paid the ultimate sacrifice. I'm just really concerned with these evil people within the community, that they don't get their hands on this and use it to promote their radical views, which are just absolutely un-Australian.
So what would that involve? Obviously, there is the property there at the moment. Would you knock down that property and build a proper training centre?
Well, we're looking at everything is open at this point in time. Our first point of business is to purchase this block of land, and then we will repurpose it. And clearly we would have things in mind. So this would be new, it would be fresh, and it would honour Matthew and Rachel, and things that were there in the past. Well, there will be no remembrance or resemblance of that. It is important we do it, and it can be used for many purposes. Police who are suffering from PTSD may want a break in the bush, a training centre, but fittingly it will be a memorial for Matthew and Rachel. So we're open to all suggestions, but I really don't want it to fall into the wrong hands, and that is the driving force. And I think we have an obligation to remember Matthew and Rachel, and I never want to hear the names of those ruthless, murderous trio ever again. And I want to wipe it as though we never knew they existed.
And we know that a memorial, of course, will be held tomorrow. Tell us about the plan to honour Constable McCrow and Constable Arnold.
Yes, they will have a funeral, a state funeral with full police honours, which will be the Boondall Entertainment Centre. And that is something we can just do to honour and pay tribute to the sacrifice of Matthew and Rachel. And also it will mean a lot to their families, their work colleagues, the community as well, and police across Australia. And then that will be followed by a private ceremony for both Matthew and Rachel, which will be separate. And they will be taking place, Rachel's on the north side of Brisbane, and Matthew's at his former school at St Lawrence's, where it will be a private ceremony, and their family and their close ones can pay tribute to two very young, wonderful people who sadly paid the ultimate sacrifice and are no longer with us. And it is fitting to know, look, we're going into Christmas. This is a really difficult time, and I've spoken with Matthew's and Rachel's families, and they're doing it tough. And I just wish them all the best tomorrow, but they will see that they will never be forgotten, and we will continue to support them. What I can say too, I've spoken with Matthew's and Rachel's families, and they're supportive of our views in relation to buy this property at Wieambilla in honour of Matthew and Rachel.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a very fitting memorial tomorrow. There's also been this push for a national firearms register, something that you've also been calling for. It's gaining momentum over the last few days. What change do you believe that this will bring about?
It'll give police information at their fingertips right across Australia. Port Arthur was in 1996. It's now 2022. The technology is there. What we have is a system in place now. We have 8 different jurisdictions. They don't talk to each other. It is cumbersome. It is chunky. And what I want is all the available information available to police right across Australia. So the police officer in Bunbury, Innisfail and Hobart will have the information. Is the person a registered firearms holder? What weapons have they acquired or disposed of? What is in their possession? And any offences that may have been committed by them, so that information can be available to police so they can make their risk assessment, use the intelligence so we can do our job to protect the community. Because one thing which is abundantly clear, the systems in place now are not working. It is compromising the safety of police, and the community believe we already have this information available to us. This is a no-brainer. Let's have a national system which will work and protect give police the ability to protect the community we serve. It's just a simple thing, which I think can get momentum. And I'm really pleased with some of the support. And I'm actually surprised with some police commissioners are not coming out publicly supporting this, because it's all about them protecting their people as well as the community.
Ian Levers, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for your support.